Long ago, in a village deep in the heart of Africa, there stood a great tree at the edge of the forest. It was no ordinary tree. Its bark was as black as night, its branches twisted like the claws of a wild beast, and its roots spread far and deep, as if drinking from the very soul of the earth. The villagers called it Mti Mbaya, the evil tree. No one dared go near it. The elders spoke of strange whispers carried by the wind when night fell. Hunters who strayed too close never returned, and even animals avoided its shadow. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, the village gathered around the great fire. The oldest elder, Baba Omori, cleared his throat and spoke. Long ago, before our fathers were born, this land was full of peace. The people lived in harmony with the forest. But one day, a greedy man named Django came. He was not content with what the land gave him. He cut down trees without thanks, hunted more than he needed, and stole from others. The spirits of the forest grew angry. They warned him, but he laughed. "Who can stop me?" he boasted. So, the spirits cursed him. They took his body, his greed, and his wickedness and trapped it inside a tree. That tree became Mti Mbaya, the evil tree. From that day on, it fed on darkness. Anyone who touched it would hear Django's whispers, tempting them to do evil. If they listened, the tree would grow stronger, and the person would be lost forever. The children shivered, and the elders nodded. "Stay away from the tree," they warned. In the village lived a young boy named Tond. He was curious, more than any child his age. He had heard the stories of the evil tree, but he did not believe them. "It is just an old tree," he thought. "Nothing more." One afternoon, while gathering firewood, he found himself near the edge of the forbidden forest. He looked around, no one was watching. "I will just take a small peek," he said to himself. Step by step, he walked closer. The air grew colder. The wind whispered in his ear, but there was no one there. Finally, he stood before the tree. It was even larger than he had imagined. Its bark seemed to move, as if something inside was breathing. Then, he heard it, a voice. "Ton, I have been waiting for you." Ton gasped and stepped back. Who are you?" The voice chuckled. "I am your friend. I can give you anything you desire. Strength, riches, power. Just place your hand on my back." Ton hesitated. His heart pounded. He knew he should run, but the voice was soothing, tempting. His hand lifted, just a little. Then, a hand grabbed his shoulder. "Ton." It was his grandmother, Mama Julia. Her old eyes were full of fear. "Step away from the tree." Ton shook his head and stumbled back. The tree groaned. The branches swayed angrily, though there was no wind. Mama Julia pulled him away, and together, they ran back to the village. That night, a terrible storm came. The sky turned black, and the wind howled like a wounded beast. The villagers woke in fear. Lightning flashed, and in the distance, they saw it, Mti Mbaya was moving. Its roots tore through the earth. Its branches stretched toward the village. The whispers became screams. The villagers gathered around Baba Omori. "What do we do?" they cried. The old man closed his eyes. "The tree has been disturbed. It wants to feed." Mama Julia stepped forward. "We must remind it that we are not afraid. We must show it that goodness is stronger than greed." The villagers held hands. They began to chant the old songs, the ones that spoke of love, kindness, and unity. They sang louder and louder, their voices filling the night. The evil tree howled. It lashed its branches, but the wind carried the songs into its heart. The whispers turned to wails. The roots shook. The earth trembled. Then, crack! A bolt of lightning struck the tree. Fire erupted, burning with a golden glow. The screams faded, and the tree shuddered one last time before collapsing into ash. A lesson remembered. When morning came, the storm was gone. The land was peaceful again. Where the tree had stood, there was now a small sapling, fresh and green. The evil is gone, Baba Omori said. But we must never forget. Greed and wickedness can grow if we let them. But together, with love and goodness, we can always stand strong. Ton never forgot that night. He grew up to be a wise leader, teaching the children the story of the evil tree, so that they, too, would remember. And so, the village lived on, in peace, never forgetting the lesson of Mti Mbaya.